business partner, John McGaw. Let me tell you about him. He's in 8 syndications. He's raised $10 million, and that's worth $100 million now. So I took him on as a partner, and the part of the give I want to give is talking about listening to what Bridger and the guys talk about with the 3 positions in your fund. Everybody remember the 3 positions? The deal getter, the money getter, and the administrator, right? So I went and found the money getter, and now we closed on our first deal already. So that just happened a month ago. Yeah. So anyway, that's the big thing. Thank you. Appreciate that. So the part that Bridger and the guys talk about, all the different coaches, they talk about finding those partners and those other. So you want to find somebody that has 80% strength to your 20%. So whenever you have a weakness, find the person with the strength. I have the strength that he has the weakness. He has the strength that I have the weakness. So find your partners. They might be in this room. They'll probably be on the Zoom calls. So take advantage of all these things that Blackheart has. There's a lot here. And then also the next thing I wanted to talk about was, it's a totally different subject, it's kind of macroeconomics and demography, which is about the boomers. So we're in RV parks, and so a lot of RV parks are owned by the boomer generation. But there's 10,000 boomers retiring every day right now. So 10,000 people are leaving the workforce, selling their businesses every single day. So 50% of mom and pop businesses are owned by the boomer generation. That means 50% of businesses that are owned in that mom and pop demographic, they're coming up on the market. In our market in RVs, it's more like 80%. So that's what we do, is we look for these boomer businesses that have fax machines, no websites. That's a market that you can go out and find businesses.
Yeah. And also what we do is we look at these parks that they're taking phone calls, they're taking credit cards over the phone. They have, like you say, fax machines. So what we implement is more of an automation, right? We put in dynamics pricing and yield management, which really increases our income. And I'll give you an example of dynamic pricing. And some of you guys do it with apartments that you change into like Airbnbs. But when the Yankees come to town for, I'm in Dallas, so the Rangers, and that's an $8 ticket. But when the Yankees come to town, that's like a $20 ticket. So when you travel on the airlines for, the holidays, everything goes up. So that's what we do with dynamic pricing. And then on the other end of it, yield management. If you got a low season, we just make, we still make that profit where we drop our prices down. And that's our secret sauce to making these parks more profitable.
Yeah, that's right. And so another part about the boomers, I want to go back and talk about that a little bit more, because whenever you look at, a lot of us are in real estate, but this goes for all assets. So as we're going into this time period where the boomers are reaching the retirement, that means they're taking their money out of alternative investments, which is all of us, and they're moving it into the risk-free rate. So they're moving into bonds and things like that. So as they're pulling out their money from their assets, one of their main assets is going to be their house. So a lot of people, that's their biggest asset. It's where most of their net worth is. They see the prices start to going down, so they want to pull their money out of that asset so they have liquidity, because they probably either paid down their mortgage dramatically or they paid it off completely. Well, now they see their entire net worth losing value. We have the biggest demographic in the country all pulling their assets out. They're all pulling their liquidity out of their assets. At the same time, Airbnb is going terrible. Anybody hearing about bad Airbnb experiences? Anybody? Yeah, a few. So it's getting really unpopular online and social media. A lot of people are bad-mouthing it. They don't like the rules. Hotels are back in fashion. And so as Airbnb owners are starting to sell their assets, because say you're an Airbnb owner, you've got about 10 properties. Well, if you're gonna sell your assets, you're gonna say, well, I've already made this cash flow. We're investors. We're gonna say, hey, we're breaking even, and this thing is losing money. We'd rather break even than lose money. So they're gonna sell their portfolios. So you've got 10 properties in a portfolio and 10 investors in one city. That's 100 properties going on below market price. At the same time that the boomers are selling their assets below market price. So whenever we talk about interest rates pushing these asset prices down, whether it's commercial real estate, whether it's Bitcoins and crypto or stocks, all these assets are getting pushed down by pulling out and going into risk-free rate. So pay attention to that, and don't just think it's only the interest rate going up that's pushing it down, because later on this year, whenever the interest rate gets kind of steady and it doesn't really look like it's going to skyrocket anymore, the prices of assets are probably still going to be going down. So that's my little read on the market, and that's a give. You had one?
Yeah, I want to add one more thing. Is the reason we're doing mostly RV parks is, one, because of the pandemic. What happened was you got a lot of people that wanted to get away from people, and in 2021 they expected 2.4 million new campers or RVers. What we got was 10.7 million new RVers. There's not enough parks out there for everybody to stay. So that's what we're doing. Also now, since everybody can work from home, or a lot of people can, we've got more people working wherever they want. They go surfing in California, skiing in Colorado, the next 3 months. So we see a lot of that.
As far as, so a lot of people are working from home. So as you're seeing that in the economy, people are working from their vans and their mobile homes and their RVs. And a lot of people are coming to our RV parks and they're parking in there. They're basically living in there. And that's a lot of that part of pulling out of the market, taking your liquidity out of the assets and moving it into something like, they'd rather just sit on cash and let it lose money that way, I guess. I really want to restate this, that this group, these are the people that you can go to. These are your partners. These are your funders. These are your people that have deals. These are your deal flow partners, everybody in here. So I've gotten a tremendous amount of value from knowing you folks, and I want to say thank you.
Woohoo! All right, thank you.